Hi everyone, this is Adrian at 18 Echo SF. Don't mind my garage, by the way. I'm trying to figure out a good way to make these videos, and since I'm not a professional at this like some people out on YouTube, this is the best that it can get for right now. I may use this corner of my garage though to do future videos, and my workbench is over in that corner, and back here I get some nice lighting from the overhead lights at that side of the garage, so I decided to try a video here. Anyway, I decided to make a new video about a holster that I just got, and you may remember that I did do a previous video talking about the trials and travails I had trying to get a Kydex holster, both from Raven, which did not work out that well for me. I waited 16 weeks, and my stock standard Colt Commander wouldn't even fit inside the holster, so needless to say, I was pretty disappointed. And they took it back, of course. And I then tried a Bravo concealment holster, and there wasn't anything wrong with it really, but I was just a little turned off at that time by these two close-fitting Kydex holsters. I don't know, I just decided to wait. And I went back and continued using the Blade Tech holsters that I've used for years, which I still love to this day, and I will continue to use them. However, the Blade Tech holster, sticks out a little bit, and it isn't really a close-fitting concealed carry holster, and I wanted something like that somewhere down the road. Well, I really wasn't even in the market for a holster right now, but I am friendly with, I am not a friend of his, but I am friendly with one of the top handgun instructors in the U.S. His name is Tiger McKee. His company is Shoot Right. They're in Langston, Alabama. I'm hoping to go to some instruction from Tiger next year. But Tiger and Tom Gresham from Gun Talk made a DVD concerning training with a 1911. And since I'm a 1911 fan, I've been shooting them for years, I surely wanted that DVD, and I kept waiting for it to come out. Eventually it did. So I sat down to watch the DVD, and while I'm watching it, I saw the holster that Tiger was using, and it really looked fabulous. I was curious as to who made it, and I contacted Tiger. I sent him an email and asked him if he could tell me who made that holster, and he was nice enough to respond very quickly. And he told me it was made by a company called Aholster. A gentleman by the name of Alan Miller owns the company. They're in Jonesboro, Tennessee, and Tiger said, he carries his full frame 5-inch 1911 every day, and he uses that holster. After getting mine, I can see why and how it's possible to do that. So I went out to the website and I took a look at what they had, and Tiger actually did a design for Alan for one of their holsters, but it wasn't really what I wanted. It had an extra piece of metal, a small strip of metal attached to the kind of the front of the holster, so that you could rack your gun on that. And I guess if you were taking lots of training classes and where they were doing that, it would be very beneficial. And in a defensive situation, I could see that as well. But for my purposes, it really wasn't what I needed. I wanted their standard holster, but their standard holster was made with a sweat guard, and I really did not want the sweat guard. So I sent Alan a message, and he got back to me within a day or so, and he said, not a problem. When you order the holster, just put a note in there that you want it without the sweat guard. I have to tell you, my holster, they say that they will be arrive to you within 3 weeks, and I got mine in less than 3 weeks. I was very impressed, to say the least. So the holster arrived. Here's the holster, by the way, and if you can see it okay. It's made of 2 pieces of Kydex. It's finished beautifully on the top and the bottom. It's an open bottom, of course. Very, very nicely machined, so there's no rough edges. It has a tension adjustment for the trigger guard, and it uses these pull dot connectors for the belt. Now this is the first holster I've ever had with these, but I understand they've been around for quite a while, and a number of other companies use them. And they attach, it just slides under your belt like this, and this one comes up through the back. You have to bear with me because of my amputated thumb, which sometimes I have a little bit of a problem doing. But these connectors, they only snap one way from rear to front, and then the opposite way when you're taking them off, but usually I can get them on okay. So the holster fits very, very tight to the body, and I live in California, and in this state it's virtually impossible to get a carry permit. A few years ago I may have been able to get one, but I chose not to do it at that time because whether you get one or not in this state is very subjective by the Sheriff's Department, and I didn't want a refusal on my application if they just decided, no, he shouldn't have one. He doesn't have a need, So I decided not to even bother, and I'm just waiting until we move out of this state, which won't be too far in the future, and go someplace where firearms are more free is probably the best way to put it. But I live close to Arizona, and if I drive over to Arizona for any reason, in Arizona anyone is allowed to carry a concealed weapon. So I wanted to be able to have a nice holster for that purpose, and the Blade Tech for me would not have served that purpose. I used to put my shirt on the outside and try to see if I could hide the printing of my 1911, which is what I use, and I just couldn't do it. Maybe it's my body type, but I don't know what the reason was. But I just could never get it. The butt of the gun always, if you bent over, always kicked out. So I wanted to get something different. So, I ordered the holster specifically for my Colt Combat Commander. I do have, as a number of you know, a Kimber Pro Carry 2. It fits beautifully with both, So, by the way, this gun is, just so you'll know, it's clear, no rounds. And, I want you to think I'm unsafe here. So, but anyway, I wanted it specifically for this gun. This is my go-to gun, and it's the one that I train with when I go to classes, and I love this pistol. So, I happen to be a lover of commander-length guns, so that's why I wanted this holster. So anyway, the gun fits beautifully, as you can see, and depending on where you wear it on your hip, towards the rear, 3 o'clock, whatever, it's really easy to get to, and the gun now exits beautifully. Now, I just got my holster about 3 days ago, and when I got it, I was having a bit of a difficult time getting the gun out. Now, it's the first Kydex holster I've ever had. It did come out, but it was a little difficult. And then I went to the range on Thursday, today's Sunday, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I went to the range on Thursday, and while I'm just practicing, I noticed that the pistol sometimes did not want to come out. But I eventually got it out and continued using it, and the more I used it, the better it got. And then I brought it home and I worked it a bit more, to kind of get the gun out. And I think that I even sent a message to Alan saying that I think I might have to adjust it. And he sent me some very simple, detailed instructions on, what to do to adjust it, using a hairdryer. And I came out this morning to go do that, but I noticed that the gun, excuse me, was, exiting the holster, better. So I decided that I'm not even going to bother trying to adjust it anymore, because every time I draw, it now comes out, perfect. So I'm very, very impressed with this holster, particularly the way it sits. And you can see, if I turn around and even bend, because it's a 15-degree cant. Now my Blade Techs are straight drop holsters, so that was one of the issues. With the cant, which I've had to change my draw a little bit, but with the cant of the holster, of course it hides that butt. So when I bend over, you know, you can see that the holster, I mean the butt of the gun is not, you know, sticking out very much. If I had my shirt at, you'd be able to see. Along with the holster, Alan also makes a really nice magazine pouch. I've been using Kydex, and I have a double one that I just gave to my wife because I decided that I wanted to use, in the classes that I take, a single magazine pouch. I don't want to use a double one, and if I decide down the road I need another one, you know, I'll get it. But these use a little belt clip, and they're very easy to put on. And the magazines, they really fit beautifully, and they're easy to come out and easy to get your, you know, your index finger, you know, so you can index it into the, you know, well done. And but I love this, and again, they're very secure. So I am just more than impressed with this holster. Granted, it's the first Kydex holster that I've been able to use, but that should tell you something, because the other companies that I tried, you know, they get rave reviews on YouTube and lots of different places. However, the wait times were just horrific. You know, 16 weeks, 12 weeks, I thought it was just ridiculous. You know, I'm just one guy, I realize, and maybe they're making them for military guys, you know, who really deserve to get their stuff faster. But, you know, I wanted that holster, and I waited, and then it didn't work very well, you know. So I was, of course, very critical when this holster arrived, because I wanted to make sure that kind of stuff wasn't going to happen, and it did not. So I am very happy. I'll put links to the Aholster company's website and the phone number and everything, so you can contact them if you're interested. And I'll also put a link at the bottom for the Tiger McKee and Tom Gresham 1911 DVD, which is absolutely fabulous. And if you get that DVD, you will have a much better understanding of why I really, you know, was intrigued by this holster. So again, if you're looking for a holster, you know, I think it's hard to beat. This one's $69.95. It comes in a few colors. I got black, but it comes in green and Coyote, and as does the mag pouch. You know, so again, the holster was $69.95. The mag pouch was $29.95. So for, you know, $100, you get a really beautiful setup, and I'm expecting that this will last me a long time. I realize that, you know, lots of folks have lots of holsters sitting in a box somewhere. I do not, actually, believe it or not. I have the Blade Tech for my wife and I, and but now I'm going to probably use this at every training class that I go to. And I'm getting ready to go to a kind of a mini class in August at International Tactical Training Seminars, where I've taken a couple classes, and my wife has as well. I'll put a link to them at the bottom too. Great class if you're anywhere near California. Great instructors, all LAPD SWAT instructors, as is the owner, former, by the way. Anyway, I hope this is beneficial to you. If you have any questions or comments, you know, feel free to put it, you know, on the video. And if you have a question you want to ask, want to send me a personal message, feel free to PM me too. So, folks, stay well and safe out there.